So the answer is an astounding yes. Lenders can accept overtime, night shift, and weekend pay. Of course they can. It does differ from lender to lender, which is why getting advice from a whole of market broker like Boon Brokers is so important. Let's dive in. So with any mortgage application, you'll need to provide income proof to the lender. And for those who work for the NHS, you should expect to provide payslips. Now on your payslip, it'll show your basic salary, but then it will also show overtime, night pay, weekend pay, shift pay, all these flexible payments if you work extra hours. Now lenders view these payments slightly differently to your basic salary. With your basic salary, they can normally accept the one payment because they know it's fixed and they know you're getting it on a monthly basis at the same rate. But with your overtime and other variable payments, they fluctuate, which is why lenders normally need to see the latest 3 to 6 months of those flexible payments before they can consider that income. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is that those flexible payments need to show on each pay slip normally before they're accepted. So for example, if you receive overtime and you've received it over the last 3 months consistently, a lender should be able to accept it. But if, for example, it only shows on one of those 3 pay slips, don't expect any lender to accept it. It does differ from lender to lender. Now let's look at an example of how lenders would normally treat overtime. Let's say someone has overtime of £400 in month 1, £500 in month 2, and £600 in month 3. The lender would average those overtime payments to make £500 per month. They would then extrapolate that over the year, so the usable income, the applicable income that most lenders would use, would be £6,000. That helps your affordability. Every lender is different. Some use 3 months, some use 6 months, but generally that's the sort of affordability logic that they use. So when you apply for a mortgage as an NHS worker, not only will you need to provide your pay slips, but also you should expect to provide your bank statements as well to show that same income consistency. Some lenders can use what's called open banking, which is where they actually have access to your bank statements without needing for you to provide them. This is a much quicker process, but just to make sure your application goes smoothly, have the bank statements on hand to send to your lender. So almost all lenders can accept overtime and unsociable hour pay. However, it does differ from lender to lender in terms of how much of it they can accept. For example, you've got the likes of Nationwide, NatWest and Barclays, who can currently accept 100% of your overtime, as long as you've got at least 3 months of pay slips to prove it. And it has to be your most recent 3 months of pay slips. However, you've then got some lenders like HSBC and Accord, where currently they cap your overtime usage at 60%. So it does really differ from lender to lender, and that's why using a broker like Boon Brokers is always best. So there are lots of tips that we can offer NHS workers to maximise your borrowing potential, but let's focus on 2. Lenders love consistency. So if you've got consistency of your overtime or other flexible pay, it just means that lenders can easily discern your income, and hopefully that maximises how much you can borrow. Secondly, your deposit plays a very large role in how much you can borrow. The larger deposit you have, the more often you can borrow, as long as your income stacks up. Because you need at least a 5% deposit, sadly a lot of people are limited in terms of how much they can borrow by their deposit sum. For example, if you've only got a £10,000 deposit, you'll be limited to a maximum purchase price of £200,000 regardless of your income. So maximise your deposits and keep your overtime consistent. Thank you for watching this video on how to get an NHS mortgage. At Boon Brokers, we're a fee-free, whole-of-market mortgage brokerage, and we'd be more than happy to help you with your mortgage requirements moving forwards. Just submit an inquiry and one of our brokers will be in touch. Also, read the guide below for more information and download our PDF guide if you want even more information and if you want to pass it to friends and family.